Hi, Tony Kashawi here, and I just wanted to bring you a little tip and trick that I found. Well, actually, I found it on the internet and it inspired me to think, hey, we could use this for teaching Commedia. Now, I'm talking about the walks. Now, we ask the students to understand the traditional walks of the Commedia, but basically they're just stock character types. For example, high status, low status. We can know how to walk with a high status, a nose in the air, and so on. Walk with confidence, like the captain, and of course his opposite when he's pretending, no, when he is a scaredy cat. We can go back into sort of doing something that's very timid. So we can actually ask the students to do these kinds of walks. Now the zany is probably the most complicated because it's tied in with tradition. They say that he walks like he's stepping over a barrel, his knees are always bent, his elbows are bent, his bottom's out, his chest's out, his body is like a zigzag. And that really helps join the mask with the body. So large characterization is essential for mask work. So you have to train your actors. And so, well, you have to do these walks every day. I imagine if you're in rehearsal, I would recommend that you train your actors by going through these every day as a warm-up exercise. Now, drama students in high school, now you could do the same thing, of course. Every lesson that you're working on your Commedia project, always start the class with exercise. So here's an inspiration for you to get them to think about doing different types of walk. I found this little clip on the internet. Let me show you. So here he is. There's been a few of these videos doing things on a travelator or an exercise machine like this. But have a look at what he's doing. It's fantastic. Imagine doing an exercise with your students where you tell them to walk angry, walk chimpanzees, walk sassy, etc. Imagine the whole group being asked to do this all at the same time, all wandering around the drama room, calling out these different types of walks. So when you start training them to do the Commedia walks, you actually throw them in. So instead of saying old man, say pantalone. Instead of saying, walk, creep along, just say, walk like a low status zanni, which you've previously trained them in, of course. So, what do you think? Is it a good idea? We must thank that guy who made that little video because, these are kinds of things that you can use to inspire your students. So, it gets a bit boring every day just going in and telling them that they must, exercise or stretch or do those things, train themselves to be good actors. Whereas if you can run exercises that inspire them to be good actors, that's even better. Okay, finally, here's a little tip that I could use this same exercise with. Have you ever run an exercise where you want to get the class into groups of 3 or 4 and you get them to say, okay, wandering around the room. I think every drama teacher does this. Wandering around the room, filling up the empty spaces, and then you clap your hands, call out a number, and they get into the groups of those numbers. And if somebody not in that group, then they have to pay a penalty of some sort by doing some task. So that exercise I use a lot because, I like to see students work with people that they don't normally work with or don't like to work with to expand their abilities to be accepting and tolerant and learn new things. So I use this exercise and I find that they are walking around the room and they're hanging next to their friends. So how do you distract them from doing that? So what I do is I usually say, walking around the room, okay, I'm going to give you a point of concentration. I tell them exactly what I'm doing so that they know that I'm actually doing it on purpose so that they don't hang with their friends. And I say to them, okay, you're busy commuters, you're late for work, you've got to catch that bus, that train, or whatever. And so the energy in the room picks up, everyone starts walking fast, and they're late for work. And the energy in the room has changed, and you then clap your hand and say, groups of 4, and of course they go, oh, damn, yeah, that's right, we were playing that game. They got lost in the fact that they're doing a pretty good job of being a commuter. This is acting class after all. I'm doing some acting. And of course, the opposite to that, I usually vary it to say, okay, this time walking around the room, but it's a lazy Sunday afternoon. You've arrived 2 hours too early for your doctor's appointment, and you've got 2 hours to kill. You're in the park. You're wandering slowly. And of course, they all go about that and do some acting and pretend that they're wandering through a park with nothing to do, kicking stones, etc. And then you call out the number. And they go, oh yeah, that's right, we were playing that game. So I always find this very, very handy to keep them energized and interested in the drama class. But imagine now if you use some of the walks that our friend here, well, put him back on the screen. Our friend here was demonstrating so very well. And I'll leave you with this. Ciao, ciao.